I just took a shower and I'm here eating fruits at 10 p.m. at night because I wanted something light. Um, and yeah, I want to talk about what do you do when someone doesn't show empathy, doesn't have empathy for a particular situation, or does not show empathy for you or to you during a particular situation. Either because of whatever, we can always label why they don't show empathy is because they're a bad person or they're this or that. But if we stop before we label someone and you just understand that they are not being considerate, they're not showing empathy for whatever reason, right? Their reasons might be valid, but if someone lacks empathy, how do you deal with it? I think the first thing is to actually recognize when someone lacks empathy. I think that's like a skill that takes quite a bit of time. Look at this dragon fruit, it's so yummy. Mm-mm-mm. It takes quite a bit of time to acknowledge that you were not empathized, you were not heard, your feelings were not considered, and you were past. You were like you were not considered basically. So it takes quite a bit of time to actually acknowledge to yourself, let alone to another person, to actually know that, hey, in that instant, in that moment of time, I did not feel or sense empathy. Like there's something stuck in my teeth. So it's very important to recognize that. And second, to also recognize that anybody can be insensitive. Anybody, and sometimes everybody. Sometimes I think it's like human nature for people to be insensitive. But do you have to accept it? Absolutely not. And how do you react to it, right? Because having, for people not being sensitive to you for like a particular time period or a situation, or just generally, if someone's not being sensitive or just acknowledging you, or if you tell someone, hey, I'm hurt, and they don't even respond, or they just take you for granted, or they just push you aside and keep going. So in that circumstance, right, I think it's very, very important to understand how you're feeling very clearly. Just be like, hey, this isn't okay. And just, understand that, okay, I was not empathized. Either it was an insensitive remark, or just like insensitivity on their part. It's important to, number one, recognize that feelings and those emotions. And I think it's very brave to do that. I think in this world where nobody wants to feel, nobody wants to take a moment to reflect and do things out of intention, I think it's so brave to do that. So that's amazing if you can feel the lack of empathy, right? And the second thing to do is, obviously, once you realize that someone hasn't empathized with you or is being insensitive with you, there's a lot of anger that comes. Wait one second, something went inside my eye. Okay, there's a lot of anger that comes during that time. Oh, okay, that is so pretty. I always feel like pomegranates have like rubies in them. It's so beautiful. Oh, something fell in my laptop. So beautiful, yum. I feel like these rubies are so tasty. And apparently the skin is good for your, I mean, not the skin, but the outer, um, you know, outer fleshish things are supposed to be good for stomach aches. So I've eaten them for the longest time, thinking, all my stomach aches will get cured, but it never has. But yeah, once you get angry for the fact that you have not been empathized with, you've not been treated properly, that is like that is a appropriate emotion, but at the same time, how you react with that anger is so important, right? If we're gonna, just react and just like blow up and be like, hey, oh my god, my hair is just going on my eye and I can't even talk or see. It poked me. So if we have anger and we're going to be like, hey, you didn't empathize with me, I'm so angry with you, blah, 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 blah. The thing about anger is there is no stop button to it. The thing about rage is that it keeps on going. So if you, they might say sorry to you, but then if you still have anger because of all the times you've been in the same situation and no one ever treated you properly, no one empathized with you, I think it's just like, unwanted pain that we're inflicting on other people again if we don't know when to stop our anger. So it's really important to know how we don't let emotions control our actions. And if you've been, if you've not been treated with empathy, if you've not been treated with the sensitivity a certain issue or certain situation or you require during a period of time or whenever generally, it's completely natural to feel angry, but don't use that anger to react. Instead, what I do is, I always give myself a mental note. I tell myself, hey, what this person did at this time, for whatever reason, at this situation was not okay. They lack the empathy and I'm not okay with it. I always tell myself this sentence, I do not accept this. That's it. That's all. I don't even, like, sometimes, confronting certain things makes sense, but sometimes it doesn't, because like the smallest thing, like, someone would have pushed you and just like walked away. I mean, obviously, if it's that spur of the moment, you need to react like, hey, excuse me, excuse you, like, why are you doing this? That time you can't like just be like reflecting on your thoughts and be like, I don't accept this and things like that, because that minute has passed. But if it's someone made you upset or said a remark, it's so important to reflect and be like, hey, that wasn't okay. I don't accept this. And and then it's also important to take time for yourself. Just take time for yourself and just, I'm not saying dwell in the emotions, but just, understand where they come from. And, just be like, I understand this is what it is, but I don't accept it because that's not okay. And also put boundaries. So the next thing that you have to do is put boundaries. If someone is intentionally in the same cycle and same pattern of being insensitive to you, it's important to put boundaries and be like, I don't accept it, therefore this person does not get so much of my energy and time. I don't want to discuss these topics with this person, or I don't want to be around this person as much, or I want to stop communicating with this person as much, because it's just not healthy for me, because I'm upset. And but at the same time, if the other person truly acknowledges what has happened and would like to communicate and talk about it, I think that is circumstantial basis, depends on the circumstance and things like that. But it's always important to give people a chance. But when continuously is happening and you see the other person lacking empathy, I would say, have boundaries and decide how much you want them in your life. Mm. Mm-mm. I also got kiwi. So that is so important. I think this is like a little overripe, but looks so pretty. It smells also so good. Mm-mm. Ooh, I almost got the sticker. So yeah, this is how I think you should deal with people who lack empathy. And it's important to not associate as much with people who lack empathy, especially when you're going to be upset. Because you don't need that. And people who lack empathy need to do their own work. If they can't do it, then they don't have a presence in your life. They just need to, this is how I think you should deal with people who lack empathy. So I'm gonna bed because I'm already in my night outfit and I have some fruits to finish up. I'm gonna eat them a little bit and then I'm gonna go sleep. Bye. Take care. And to be empathetic is a superpower, is incredible. To be sensitive, oh my god, to feel everything, to feel all your emotions, and to to accept everything that this world gives, and not to pretend or hide or keep moving without actually reflecting, is not it anymore. I think that's a sign of weakness. That's just not me. And I don't think anybody else out there should do that either. I think if someone who feels a lot resonates with this, then I think you should continue to feel every emotion, everything, all the range of emotions that we have as human beings. And I think there is so many forms of intelligence, and emotional intelligence is definitely like something which is so important and which a lot of people lack. And if they're doing based out of fear, and if they're doing not intentionally, we can always talk about that. But if it's intentional and repetitive, yeah, no. I mean, I would say we have a lot of things to heal, a lot of stuff to heal, but let's be empathetic, let's be kind, let's be sensitive, let's not hurt people unnecessary. And there's no shame in being, sensitive. So, see ya, I gotta go. Bye.